What is up guys, Wraec is here with a new video, and today we're going to talk about one of the probably least used heroes in this game. I'm of course talking about Cassadee, and Cassadee is a really cool hero. We saw her in a lot of trailers for the game where she blasted enemies away with her tidal wave, and really then we didn't see too much of her. There were some tactical drills where she was seen, but only to demonstrate a few of her skills, and really in PvP there is no team around her. In PvE she's rarely used. There is one case however where I use her, and let me show you that. So I actually use her for Dream Realm, and in there mostly for the Snow Stomper fight. There is one very good team for Snow Stomper with Maulers, and then I think there is this team which are probably most meta, I would say. And as you can already see, there is something a bit weird going on already. We have her in here, and there is this effect now around Mary Lee. And this effect is called Tidal Strength, and this is mostly the thing for Cassidy. What this does is basically every time this Mary Lee now hits an enemy with a normal attack, Cassidy will deal damage to that enemy of 60% magic damage. So not really a whole lot, but of course if we do a lot of normal attacks, that can add up quite a bit. So pretty nice. The blessing however will vanish after it was triggered 9 times, and then there is a 9-second cooldown until it's reapplied. We will see however that you can also put that on the all your heroes with her active skill, so quite interesting. Let's see that. And the way this basically works is once you get her to Mythic Plus, her active skill, which is this huge wave we're about to see in a second, will give this tidal buff, tidal strength buff to every single ally it touches. And usually that works out quite well. Sometimes Mary Lee jumps out of the radius, which is quite sad then, and has to trust then on the regular reapplying of this buff. But we can see there it is, there it is. I think or Odie didn't get it because he was a snowman at the time. But that actually adds a very good amount of magic damage to our attacks and is quite interesting. We then have her normal attack, which is Undercurrent. Not really too fancy. Basically she creates a water column under the enemy. We saw that a few times already. There it was actually. And that knocks them up, which is good, and stuns them for 1.5 seconds. Does a fair bit of damage actually, up to 300% at the end. So not bad at all. For the most part we utilize her tidal strength for this though. I think that is the biggest part of her damage. Is very interesting. Her active skill however, her ultimate doesn't really do too much, which is quite sad I have to say. But she is a valid choice for such a team where we really focus on the Lightbearer aura, where we use Corrin, where we use Mary Lee, and when we consider a third choice for such a team, then Cassadee is surely something that comes to mind. And also she is a hero that, well, has a good synergy with magic builds. Her biggest weakness however is that she's a mage, and currently, well, they don't really do that well. A lot of them struggle a little bit. Let's check that out. And those are currently our mages, and I mean, we see a lot of good heroes in here as well, but mostly not because of their ultimate skills. We have Carolina here, for example, which just has a passive damaging ability. That is great. We have Arden in here. Arden is probably the best example for a mage that is still good because of his ultimate. He has a lot of other utility skills as well though. Self-energy recovery, he has those vines, so he's still pretty good for that. And then we have Viparian, which is like, ugh. Satrana, who looks very interesting, but really doesn't see a whole lot of use. Parisa, I think is decent. I want to try her a bit, but really also not a lot of teams there. And then we have, yeah, Mirelle. Yeah, like, okay, don't really have to talk about her too much. So the problem really is you put her in the back row because she is a bit squishy, which we can see, 33k Fistiff, and not really a whole lot of life either. And then she doesn't get hit, she doesn't get a lot of energy, and she just takes a long time to get a running tide going, which is bad. And then you get this huge wave, which pushes enemies back 2 tiles, but really there isn't much use to that in our game at the moment. There are some other games, for example, that do something like they design the battlefield in a way that you get some advantage from it. So for example, there's like a crevice in the ground and then you can push enemies in there and they die immediately. Something like this would be interesting. Scalita in a way does something, she pushes enemies off the map. Doesn't really work with Cassadee though, so you just push them back and we don't really get too much utility from that. So really, her ultimate does a fair bit of damage in a pretty big area, so I guess that is the selling point for this. 340% magic damage in a 3 tile wide wave, which is a massive wave really, and we have magic damage there, so that is really the point. And then we add up to that, we already talked about the undercurrent water column, then we add up to that by granting tidal strength, which only works if you have tidal blessing and mythic plus. We add that to our allies, which is a utility you definitely want to have if you use her, because this tidal blessing from Mythic Plus is fairly interesting, it's fairly good, and depending on the upgrade stage it becomes even better. +5 is the bare minimum that you want to upgrade it, just to make it last 8 times instead of 6. And then at the +10 it actually gets a pretty interesting update. Whenever an enemy takes damage from tidal strength 6 times, they will be hit by undercurrent once immediately, which is cool. That is her normal attack, it's called undercurrent, so this basically knocks enemies up into the air, stuns them for 1.5 seconds and deals a ton of damage, so that is also very valid update, you should definitely get that. I saw that on a friend's account actually in use, it was quite nice actually. Tidal strength, we talked about this, extra damage increased to 80%, is fairly nice. The hero focus itself upgrades her haste, which she desperately needs. She desperately needs that, but it's 18 in the end, plus an extra 6 here, so really not enough. And at the ends we have enhanced force, which is pretty cool, because that reduces the magic defense of enemies hit by running tide by 20%. And magic defense, if we make a team like that, is a fairly important factor. So I would say we do exactly that and try that out in arena, try to do a bit of magic damage there. So, let's is this guy okay? Yeah, let's fight this guy. And I sadly have to predict that we probably won't see a whole lot of use from her, which is a bit sad. So what do? We of course wanna play Cassidy. We don't really have any faction boost if we do that like this. This is not good. This is not good. Not using Thorin is not really a choice. Or we just really don't use Thorin. Oh, that is a bold move. And we don't have Granny. That's difficult. That is indeed difficult. I mean, we can use Rainier, but that is not really a tank. So we need another hero here. We can use Florabelle, but it's not really a tank either. I mean, we can go with Scalita and just let our Iron run in there. We have the buff now on Carolina, which I think is decent. Other option would, of course, be to go with Arden. That is annoying. We can place her here, but that sucks as well. That is bad. We can go like this. Okay, I like this. I like this, placing the buff on Arden. We have Carolina here, we focus on Iron, and you will be supported by Scalita. So let's do exactly that, let's check that out, let's see if Scalita can do anything. She is a bit in the front here, which probably is not really that great, but she gets supported by Scalita, so maybe. Energy regeneration wise, ew. Really, ew. Where Arden has already done his first ult, she isn't even halfway there. So yeah, we have got an undercolumn there though. That was pretty good. And fight is now nearly over. Fight is over. She didn't see a single ult. So that is really the problem that I was talking about. Energy regeneration. Arden did like 2-3 ults. She basically did nothing. She was a bit CC'd. I give her that. Let's try it another time. Oh, not that. Let's try it another time. Haradir, that is a bit strong. Shrimp, I think we can attack. Is that anything we want to attack? I don't necessarily want to fight an Iron team. No. I don't really want to fight an Iron team right now. I want to fight anything but that. Because that will be quickly over. We don't really want her to be attacked. I think that was a bit of an issue here. So let's put her in the back. We put our Carolina pretty much in the front here, which is not good. And let's see if we can get any ultimate skill within the duration of that fight out of her. And I'm not really too sure we can. I'll be honest with you. I'm not too sure we can. We saw a bit of undercurrent there on the Igor. yeah, not really too fancy. I mean, didn't push him away because, of course, he's unaffected while being on those gravestones. She's now slowly getting to an ultimate. Maybe we can do it, unless she gets CC'd before. The Thor is probably not really a threat, given that she doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Yeah, and she's dead before she could even do that, and we have the problem that we probably are dead as well. We can now watch ourselves slowly die to that ego, which is very sad. Yeah. I'm not sure who my iron was even attacking there. Okay, we do double speed. That is a very slow demise here. That is a very slow demise. Can we win? I mean, I always get the hope, but then it ends. Oh, we win! Okay. Okay, thank you, I take that. But yeah, you could see the problem with her is just the slow energy gain. It's not really the damage that she can do once she is in the position, it's just that there's the very slow energy gain. There is very little that she does before she gets her first ultimate skill, and even at that point, we kinda do want her to still hit our allies, which then have to live at that point, so in PvP I think it's pointless. For everything else, where you really want to do some magic damage, keep her in mind. That title strength buff is very interesting, the title blessing that you get from Mythic plus the title strength that she can apply. All of this are very interesting ways to deal magic damage. I just keep in mind, if this is upgraded to 80%, and that times 9, 80% times 9, 720%. That is massive damage. That is really massive damage. Add Tidal Blessing to that, and you put it on all of your allies for the next 8 to 9 attacks. You can do it like for 9 attacks. Then suddenly you are at 4 times 9, and then times 80%. That is some real damage. That is very massive. 2880 or something. Insane damage, really. So, pretty much something to keep in mind. Is that a hero you need? No. No, you don't need her. She's a very specific hero for a very specific purpose, with a gimmicky ultimate skill that currently is not really supported by the areas that we face. Because, like, really we would want arenas that can use that. Like, we have arenas with walls, we have arenas with everything else. We have maps here that spot a lot of different designs and features, but we don't really see ones with like crevices and gaps in the ground or ways you can fall off the map. We don't really see a utilization of that yet. Probably, I have to say, with heroes like Iron in the game, there is a solid ground to say that this might be OP, because Iron would just pull all of the enemies into some gap in the ground immediately, which would probably be a bit stupid, yeah. So, that being kept in mind, maybe it's good that we don't have that. You can write your opinion about that down in the comments. I would really care to hear that. So, with that, did you try Cassidy? Do you think we should get some way to push enemies off the map with skills like this? Let me know all of that down in the comments below. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. And with that, I would say we see us in the next one.